Hello there, and welcome to the CP7 podcast. My name's Palm.
And I'm Andy.
And together, we are Chrono Passion 7. Hello, and welcome to your favourite watch-related podcast. It's not 007, it's not DB7, it's not Cristiano Ronaldo's CR7. We are CP7, yes, Chrono Passion 7. We have another unplugged show for you today. Andy's been in London. We've been to a watch show. Andy, tell us all about WatchPro Salon 2024.
Before we actually get into the show, I think we're missing something, and that's a wristwatch check. So how can we possibly go any further with this episode without asking that extremely important question? And that is, what's on your wrist today, Pam?
Well, today I have got a loan watch, which I received at the show we're about to talk about, WatchPro Salon 2024, from Robin at Atelier Ven. It is the Atelier Ven Millésime titanium with a purple dial. It comes on a titanium bracelet, that stunning bracelet with the Chinese-inspired architecture. But I also got a rubber strap with it, with a nice Atelier Ven deployant as well. So it looks rather fetching on this lovely purple rubber strap with this amazing purple dial and light as a feather in titanium. So that's what I've got on my wrist.
I really like it. It really pops, actually. For our listeners, as Pam was showing me there on camera, he's wearing a black top today, and the purple against the black's really, really popping. So, again, that will be in the show notes, so early plug for the website. So make sure to check out the wristwatch checks on www.chronopassion7, as in the number 7, I hope you know it by now, .com, and there you'll get all the best audio-visual experiences while you listen along to the show. I guess that leads to my wristwatch check. And what am I wearing? I'm wearing a Hegid, and it's just been sent to me. I received it today, the day of recording, and it is the Laboratory Colorama, and it's a really cool concept, sandwich dial. And what's really unique is there's a little dot at 12 o'clock, and just like a quick set date, you can change that dot to any color you wish. And of course, the cool thing with these watches is you get multiple cases. So the whole movement and dial unscrews out of the case, and then you can put it into a different form factor. So that is what I am wearing today. We'll probably share a bit more details about these watches later on in the show, because it is one of the brands who we spent some time with as well. So let's get into the main topic of today's show. It was 2 weeks ago now. I was in London.
2 weeks ago, it was in Leicester Square in London.
Classic Leicester Square. Gosh, I never get used to the hustle and bustle of London. It just always overwhelms me somewhat how busy that city is, especially in that area. But it's a great location for the event, the Londoner Hotel, really enjoyable. And we got to see so many cool brands this time. There were a lot of brands there, a lot of brands who we are big fans of. And we're going to kick things off with Nivada Grenchen. So Pam, which was your pick from Nivada?
It's a brand I've not quite got a chance to see last couple of watch shows, but I cornered them at WatchPro Salon. The one I wanted to talk about is a Nivada Grenchen F77, but it's under embargo, so I can't talk about that specific one. But there was another one which caught my eye, which was the Nivada Grenchen Depth Master. And they call this one the Pac-Man. If you check the show notes, you'll see that the 3, 6, 9, and 12 are in a very, very much like the Pac-Man characters from the famous arcade game in the 1980s. Very nice, classic vintage look. Beautiful, beautiful cushion case. They even did a Halloween black version with a pumpkin orange colored dial as well. But I like the Pac-Man Depth Master. It had a brushed steel bezel with some red markings on that rotating bezel, and it's just the numbers. I think there may be the nostalgia of the Pac-Man association just really got me, and I really did like that one. So over to you, Andy. Are you F77 as well, or are you caught by something else?
Going against the grain, of course that's a reference that I respect a lot, but twice I've seen Nivada Grenchen now, And one particular piece, what always draws me in, is the Antarctic. And it's a heritage reissue model. So similar to your choice, somewhat, as in terms of a historic reference. And I don't know what it is about it. It's the eggshell color dial, which I'm always drawn to. And I don't know if it's just the lights or how it reflects, but it has this kind of copper salmon look to it in the light I've always seen it in, at least. Maybe I get out in daylight and it's not quite the same as when you know all of these different lightings in the shows. But it plays with the light really well, and it's just got a cool Explorer-esque essence to it, to the format, with the 12, 3, 6, and 9, and then little markers between the indices, which separates it from being more of an Explorer-style dial. And yeah, I just think it's really cool. Maybe it's the vintage guy within me. I just always gravitate towards that one. It's always, when you've got all the watches there and you can try any one on you want, I always find myself picking that one up. So it's just something, can't quite put my finger on it why I gravitate to it so much. I think it's just the dial. When you see it in the metal, it's just got a really nice tonality to it, what I really like. So yeah, that was my pick, and it was great time with Nivada, right, with Tristan, a really fun guy to speak to.
He's a character.
Yeah.
Listen, we had a lot of fun at the show with a lot of the brands. It was, I think you're going to hear that as we go on. So much fun with all the brands. Yeah, and all the people. So that moves us on to the next brand we're going to talk about, which is Micro Milspec. So this is a Scandinavian brand from Norway. We spoke to the CEO, Alexander. You'd be surprised how young he was in running his own watch company. And he is also the co-founder. And most of their watches are all issued for military forces around the world. And it's only now they've released them to the public. And the one I liked, again, obviously it's going to be military inspired, was the Hercules, which has design cues from the Hercules helicopter in the cockpit. It's got an octagon case in surgical grade stainless brushed steel 316L, 42 mil. Being the octagon, it has that slight genter kind of look to it, but these watches are worn by helicopter pilots and people in the forces, and it's definitely not a showpiece, this one. These are solid as a rock and extremely durable. Another little Easter egg on this one is the lights on the Hercules cockpit are a special shade of green. It's a black cockpit lit up in green. And those are the colors of this watch with that special brushed steel case and bracelet. But it's also got a little, I guess, target window that looms up. It looms up amazingly. And when you do it, there's a square in the crystal that looms up the same green. And it's almost the Star Wars nerd in me. I said to Alexander, it reminds me of Star Wars A New Hope, where he's going down and trying to blow up the Death Star, and he's got that little square computer showing him how to get to this port to blow up the Death Star. And it kind of reminds me of that. It's got a very air combat style of look to it, and it gives you that, you almost feel like you're flying the helicopter when you look at it. But that was one that I thought was unbelievable.
A brand what's new to our radar, I think, is Micro Milspec in general. So it was nice to get some hands-on. Equally, I was taken by one of their pieces. I was speaking with Anna, the marketing manager, and yeah, very charismatic and very fun to speak with. Again, something what just a theme what runs for all of these brands. Really great people. But one what spoke to me was the Milgraph. And unfortunately for me, it's a very limited run as well. So I think it was like 25 pieces they were producing of this particular piece. It's a GMT, and it was designed, of course, with special forces in mind. And it's a left-hand drive. And it's not a left-hand drive for the conventional way. It was actually when the special ops are doing their exercises, like the push-ups and everything like that, they didn't want the crowns digging in. So the reason it's a left-hand drive in this case is just so it doesn't get in the way when they're doing all the activities that they do. What I really liked about it was it's got this octagonal cushion case shape on a rubber strap, grade 5 titanium, Really lightweight, 60-hour power reserve as well. So that's quite impressive with GMT functionality. And I just really liked the grittiness of the watch itself. The dial has that kind of tarmac-esque dial, the textured dial, what seems to be coming more into fashion these days. You see it more and more, this kind of tarmac dial, and that it's something what's really growing on me. I remember when Patek did it, and I was like, I'm not sure about that. And then now it's really grown on me. So, hey, there's another one. Patek, you think it's wrong, and then everybody's doing it and everybody likes it. So, anyway, we won't get onto that again. But yeah, I really enjoyed that piece, really enjoyed the time with a brand, but that one really spoke to me. I just thought, cool form factor, quite big for me at 42mm, but it just worked the way the case shape was designed. It fit my wrist really, really well. So again, you'll see that in the show notes. So, next brand, I think. Pam, what's up? What's up next?
So the next brand is quite a surprise, and it was a surprise to everyone. They were potentially the stars of the show at WatchPro Salon. They got so much attention, and rightfully so, because they do a cushion case, 1940s style dress watch with a stone dial for under £500. And that brand is Dennison, which is actually a historical brand because the founder of Dennison actually also founded Waltham Watches. So there's a huge history behind this brand. Not only have they reignited this brand, two brothers, Stefan and Sammy, they've turned it into something very special. They've put it in the eye of everyone. And these stone dials at that price, it's unbelievable. Really, really cool watches. So for me, I like the Tiger's Eye. This is something I've liked for many years. I'm a big fan of Tiger's Eye. The logo is a tiger. So, it was an extra special watch for me to focus on. And again, another great brand. The designer of this watch was Emmanuel Guay, who was the actual designer of the Royal Oak offshore. Not the Royal Oak, that was Gerald Genta, but the offshore. And so there's a lot of pedigree behind this brand. There's a lot going on with this brand, and I've got to say, watch this space. This brand is going to be doing great things, and the people behind it are going to smash it. What do you reckon, Andy?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're one of the hottest brands at the show, as in terms of footfall as well. Every time we walked past, they was just bombarded. I think they sold an awful lot of watches at the show as well. We know they've been out of stock, actually, so they're flying, these watches, and rightfully so, because it's just hard to argue with them for the price point. Around, £500 for a stone dial watch? Like, they're not gold, but they look a lot more expensive than what they are. But really, the star of the show is the dials. For me, something about the aventurine I really liked. It just really caught the light. I was wearing a black double-breasted jacket at the event, and it just kind of really set it off against it. It looked really cool. Yeah, really impressed. I think they're going places. Again, like you mentioned, pedigree, a serious designer on board with Emmanuel. I think this is just the beginning for the brand, and I'm excited to see what they get up to next. If this is how they start, what's the next collection going to be? So
God knows where they're going. It's going to be the sky's the limit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're going places, that's for sure. If they keep up this kind of work, really impressed.
Yeah, and for our next brand, Andy, what do you reckon? What else caught your eye?
Oh, who should we go to? Let's go to a watch. Actually, what always amuses me, and it amuses me just because of your experience with the watch, and maybe you know where I'm leading. So the M.A.D one with the guys from the M.A.D gallery, right? With Victoria and Mathis, and like we all know, I had a M.A.D one for a while, and
1 week.
1 week, and it was cool. But I wanted to see the new slim line. It was cool. I'm just saying which my favorite was from that range was the purple slim. I like what they've done. Obviously, there's a sacrifice of having no minutes anymore, so the time accuracy gets less. However, I thought it was cool. I did like it. It was a lot more wearable versus the previous iteration. So they're onto something there, and we know something new will be coming in the future as well, of course. And The movement also is improved on the S line. So with La Joux Perret, it's a lot nicer the finishing versus the Miyota on the previous. It's just got nice touches, let's say, the Geneva striping, etc., on the finishing of the actual movement. Yeah, it was cool to see what they were up to, but my favourite part, of course, is seeing Palm struggle getting the mad one to do the party trick. I can seem to do it, but he was literally just sat in the corner like a kid on Christmas morning, a bit upset with the toy he was given because he just couldn't get it to work. But did you manage to get it to
I
spin
have
in the end?
videos of it
You have
working
evidence.
time and time again.
How many attempts? Like 10 attempts before you got it to do its
Second
thing?
attempt, each one. It must be about wrist action. Your wrist action must be a more experienced.
Yeah, too much experience. I need to. Yeah. Right. Swiftly moving on to the next brand.
But no, the purple, the tribe version was the one they were. I think they thought I would like. I was like, no, I like the blue. That ice blue is really nice. I'm not a big fan of that, not just because it doesn't listen to me. It's a nice thing, and it's a good way to get into MB&F. I like the new one. I think the older one was just too big, but this newer version, slimmer, sleeker, I definitely like that a lot more than the original versions. And not just because they're too hard to spin around.
I think the newer one's harder to spin due to the movement versus the
Not for me.
Yeah, not for you. Anyway. No, the slimness as a previous owner makes a big difference because the biggest issue is you can't get it under a cuff, and just practicality of wearing something like that is quite loud, and it's not a watch I personally want to be flashing, let's say. So even though it's very fun to flash, it needs to be in the right environment. So definitely making it slimmer, I think, was a good move. I did mention it'd be nice to have running minutes on the top. But they took note of that. So hear it here first. I did mention that you have the side ring, they should have a top ring with the minutes going around. If there's ever an iteration what does that, it was my idea. So yeah, make sure to tell them.
They are changing the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I'm joking.
So the next,
but they maybe do an iteration.
Well, it might be that. That might be the thing.
It's all changed now.
Yeah, they said it's all changed. It's going to be completely. The next one they do is going to be completely different. The M.A.D 2.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, watch this space for that one. And shout out to Neil, who I think might be getting one.
Oh, yes, from the Watch Brothers, right? Yeah, exciting. Yep. Excellent. So then there was a highlight for Palm once again with Favre Leuba, right? With Patrick. He had a special gift for you, I believe.
I've met Patrick twice. First time was at Geneva Watch Days, and we were held up, so we were slightly late for our appointment. So we didn't get to see him as much as we'd like to. He came across as quite stern and quite serious. And then towards the end, you kind of thought, okay, no, he's actually quite funny. And then I met him in a 289 consultancy show in London. And he has got the driest sense of humor, the coolest sense of humor. And I was just kind of messing around. I've got this weird thing about watch gloves, branded ones. So when I see a brand, I like to have a pair of their gloves because so I've got a collection of them. So it's just one of those things. I don't know why I do it. It just seems like a good idea at the time. And I mentioned it to him, and he actually brought a pair to the show, brand new in a packet and everything. Weren't like just ones that were lying on the table that I'd been using all day. And he even wrote a little note to me saying, "To Palm, with love, here's your from Switzerland with love." And it was just so funny. So we got a picture of me being presented with these gloves. And again, Patrick, top guy, such a funny guy. We are hoping to get him on the show if all works out well.
Yeah.
And we've got to really tap into that sense of humor of his. I did ask him, I said, you seem really serious. He goes, the region I'm from in Switzerland, the rest of Switzerland think we're nuts. We just have a different sense of humor to the rest of the country. And I tell you what, I want to visit that place because I bet you'd have a right old time.
Yeah, it's once you get on the level, right? Once you get the person, the sense of humor was brilliant. Yeah, across many of the guys who we met.
Yeah,
we're starting to get the Swiss
yeah.
humor. I think now. I think we're starting to get it a bit more.
Yeah, he's cool, really cool.
Yeah, really cool guy. If I was quickly picking a favorite, it was actually the watch Patrick was wearing. So it was the Deep Blue Revival in 39. I just loved the finishing, the 5-link bracelet. Again, a 68 power reserve as well. I really like the baton style markers as well. And what I liked is how they put the date, because they have the date sitting between 4 and 5, but then they put the logo between 10 and 11. And by doing that, it kind of puts perfect balance to the dial again, which I really liked. It kind of pulls everything together. Yeah, that's definitely a favorite of mine from the brand. It is really well finished, really well polished. It just really popped in the light. Great balance on the dial, I thought, and a historic model as well. So that was my pick. But which caught your eye? Which is your favorite? We've seen them twice, or you've seen them 3 times now. So you've even had more hands-on in the metal with these pieces.
Wrist action.
Yeah. Which is your favorite from
more
the
wrist
collection?
action with them.
And has it changed actually since the first time?
It hasn't. No, it's the green chief date. But actually, Patrick had the blue, and he said that was one of his favorite watches as well. And I tell you what, I'm not in the market for a blue watch. I actually think I could possibly get one day the green one, the green chief date. But that blue just looked so.
No, is it Tiffany, like a Tiffany blue? I think.
No, it's a royal blue.
I'm trying to remember. It's a royal blue. Yeah, I know there's a few different tonalities, right? What they had. Maybe it was on the Chrono. What was more Tiffany blue?
Yeah, the Chrono was Tiffany blue. Yeah, the Chrono chief date with the bicompact stars was a bit more sunbursty blue. Yeah, it was a lighter blue. They did 2 blue versions, to be fair, and one was that not even turquoise, sky blue. Yeah, a sunburst sky blue, which everyone now calls Tiffany blue. It was just it almost looked like electric blue as a color, not the films. It was a really, really good piece, and I tell you, I'm just so tempted. They're on. You can pre-order them. So if you want to go to their website, go to favreleuba.com and just check out these watches, because they are really, really good. And another thing we found out was the little indentations in the dial. We thought it was just a regular pattern, but he told us it's an hourglass, and that was the old Favre Leuba logo, which they've imprinted into the dial, which gives it a really, really nice effect and a very, very stunning, lovely look.
Yeah, it's a cool motif, right, to the dial. And once you understand what it is as well, once you see that little detail and the nod to the heritage, it's always nice to see. So we've got a few more brands to shout out, one of which, again, I know Palm was equally itching to see Brew Watches. And Jonathan, what an absolute legend, great, cool guy, right? And I'll quickly mention that I know Palm's got a lot to say about Brew, because I know you've been dying to get your hands on one for a while. For me, the gold iteration with the black dial was my favorite. It just really popped. Being a bit loud, but you know me with gold. I kind of got a thing for it these days. So that's the one I went for. I thought it was a really cool piece. And it was great to finally try them on. And once again, what surprises me always with these kind of watches is for the price point, the level of detail what goes into the design. So all of these guys are excellent designers at just drawing up a watch and making it look cool. But not only that, it's one thing to draw up a watch design and make it look nice, but then it's the execution of it within a set under 1K price point, under 500 euros price point, and actually getting the watch to a quality and a standard. And hats off to Brew, they've really achieved that. I thought the quality felt superb for the price point. So really impressed and really nice experience for the brand. But I know, Palm, you've been waiting to get your hands on one for a while. Did it live up to your expectations?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the metric retro dial, the original, the OG. I love the story about the brand of New York coffee house, Brew Watches, and Jonathan is such a cool guy as well. He was he was very we had a good time with him. We didn't joke around too much, and it wasn't serious either. He was just a very balanced guy, very level-headed young guy. His wife was there as well. They were staying here for a few days. Thought they'd make a trip out of it to London as well. So if you follow him on Instagram, Jonathan Ferrer, just check him out. His trip to London as well. Yeah. So back to the watch. I just think this is the watch that Idris Elba was seen wearing once. And I asked him about it. I go, well, what's the story behind Idris Elba? And he said he thought it was a joke. When the order came through from his people, he thought it was a joke. He was like, no, that's it's a wind up. But then it turned out to be him. And he found out on social media that it was the real Idris Elba who actually bought the watch and just made him think, right, this is all worthwhile. He loves what he does. And I think it's a nice tip of the cap if you get a customer like that who can just influence others into getting something so good. I've been looking at these for ages, and there's a lot of brands that are mostly online, so you don't really get to see them in the flesh, in the metal. So you look forward to events like WatchPro and other shows where they exhibit, mostly probably in New York, but I'm not sure if they've been here before. Not sure if Jonathan's been here before. But I was as impressed as I thought I'd be, which was highly impressed. £432 before shipping. It's just a cool watch from a very cool brand. I loved it. I'm glad I tried it on. And yeah, watch this space. That's all I'll say.
Ooh, could you be picking one up soon? We'll find out.
Yeah, it depends how much the shipping is.
The shipping might cost more than the watch.
Yeah, it might cost more than the watch.
Yeah, apologies as well. I didn't say that the model, but it's just one range. So the metric, of course, in gold and black was my favorite. But yeah, let's get on to the final brand, and let's say that the party of the whole show, I would say, and that's going back to the wristwatch check, and that's going to be Hegid again. Like, just what epic guys, right? The Hegid guys are brilliant. So we finally met Scott, a character we have been speaking to, over the socials for some time, and what a dapper gentleman he is. Probably the best dressed guy at the show. Just, I remember Pam was you were speaking with Ollie, right, from the limited edition. You were quite deep in the conversation, and I'd just met Scott for the first time, and I was like, Scott, I'm really sorry, but you look amazing. Pam has to meet you now. I was like, sorry, just Pam. We'd had a few cocktails at this stage. Pam, you need to meet Scott.
And champagne.
And champagne, and God knows what else.
Scott turned our heads.
Yeah, I was like, Pam, meet him, right? And yeah, I think you was equally taken by his style and charisma, right? What a guy.
He was just the coolest guy. American. I wasn't expecting that. They're all good. Henrik was amazing, the main man there. Henrik, the young guy. We actually met Henrik in Geneva.
Brilliant, yeah. All of them are brilliant, yeah.
But Scott was just like, it was like meeting family. Standing, talking to those three and us two. It felt like we were just one big family talk, because we've been speaking so much over the last few months, 6, 7, probably nearly a year. Yeah, maybe not a year, but close to a year. Just in the background, talking about the brand, watches, and they've sent us both review watches, and it's just to meet the people, and then just to meet them and find out how awesome they are as well. Henrik was just so cool as well. He was just, if you see our Instagram, I don't know if we'll put some pictures on.
Definitely, yeah.
And I think we put it on stories, so they've come off the Instagram. But stick them in, check out the show notes at www.chronopassion7, the number 7.com, and check out the show notes and make some comments. Let us know what you think of the pictures that are on there and of this show. And yeah, Hegid is just a brand. If you don't know them, speak to them and you'll fall in love with them. That's all I can say.
I think that's a brilliant way of putting it. They were the party. Like, that is where the party was. Just everybody was accumulating there, and they've just got such good energy, all of the guys. So big shout out again to Henrik, Emric, and Scott. You legends. We had such a great time with you. There's already talks of partying in Geneva next year. So yeah, I think
I'm
it's
looking
the
forward
first.
to that.
Yeah, I think it's the first of many parties with those guys. Great guys. Just yeah, can't say enough good things about them. It's important because it's what makes you respect a brand. And again, going to Henrik just for a moment, when you get his persona and character, you start to get why the brand is how it is, and the designs and concepts are how they are as well. You start to see the personality of the CEO right within the watches. So yeah, these shows are brilliant for that because okay, us as journalists, it's great, but again, the end customers can go and interact with the guys and really get a connection with them and understand the concept and the people behind it. And yeah, it's kind of like one happy family with many of these brands as well, but with Hegid as well, it certainly is.
And that's why we love independent brands and micro brands or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, Enric, that style, you see it, the practicality, you see it, just that, yeah, you just want to go there and give them a big hug because they're so cool. But great watches as well. We've both received one to review, which we will discuss once. Hopefully, we can get them on the show. It's in the pipeline. Next year will be bigger and better. Look out for that next year in 2025. And you will hear the passion and you will hear, like I say, it's a family affair with Hegid. So
definitely. Yeah.
So look out for that show.
Yeah, can't wait for that one. Can't wait to collaborate with those guys more. It's just great fun. So I think look, there were many more brands, but they're the brands what, in all honesty, just grabbed our attention. So I think it's coming up to the roundup, but I'm going to let Palm do a quick fire of honourable shout-outs from all of the great people we met in London.
So I want to shout out, first and foremost, Robin from Atelier Wen. Another guy we had a lot of time with and a lot of jokes with, and it's strange. You hear about a brand, you meet the guy behind the brand, you end up talking like you've known each other for 10 years and that you're mates. And it was Robin was one of those characters. So a huge shout out to Robin from Atelier Wen. I also got the Millesime titanium watch as well. And many thanks for that, for lending us this piece to review. I'll give a few more shout outs from the people we met. So we met the Fratello boys there. Mike Stockton, who does Fratello on air, and great guy. We've met him before, and it was just another pleasure to speak to him. We met Dave Sargent for the first time as well, who also is Fratello, and really cool guy. It's again, you just hear about these people. Next thing you know, you're hanging around with them and talking to them. So shout out to them, and also to Lawrence, who is part of the Fratello crew. He's mostly Movado on Instagram. Big Movado collector. Shout out to you, Lawrence, top guy. And then some of my mates from Red Bar Southeast. First of all, shout out to Faisal, the real watch guy. That's what I call him. To Georgina and Fergus. To Sam from Watch Concierge Services. To Ed and the main man at Red Bar Southeast, Kevin Roberts. Shout out to you all. And we can't give a shout out without saying to our friends, the Watch Brothers, or the real Watch Brothers on Instagram, Neil and Mark Cody. I speak to Neil a lot of the time. When I do get the time to meet Mark, it's always a pleasure and an honour. And also a special little shout out to Dave Sharp from Scottish Watches and Horage, who saved my life. And how he did that was he lent me a carrier bag. It was a Marks and Spencer's carrier bag as well, so it was a fancy one. My only bag was a goodie bag from a pre-owned watch dealer, and I had a review watch with me, which I couldn't walk around London with pre-owned watches and jewelry written on it. And Dave lent me this plastic carrier bag and figuratively saved my life. So thank you so much, Dave, for that. Last and by no means least, the main man, Rob Corder from WatchPro, who is the man behind the event, and as I fondly like to call him, Mr. WatchPro. Shout out to all of you.
Yeah. Echo everything Palmer said there. But I will quickly shout out the Watch Brothers again, just to say it was a pleasure to meet those guys for the first time as well. And Dave Sargent, of course, as well for the first time, and Lawrence. So great guys, yeah, you with a cool gang over in London. So it was great to finally meet many of those faces. So I think that's it. I think that is all we have time for. Unless there's anything else you want to add.
No, I think we've covered WatchPro Salon 2024. What a great event. I tell you, every year it gets better. We've been going for the last 3 years. I've been going for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Every year it's got better and better and better. I think it had the identity of the show was a bit more obvious as well this year, because some people have said they're kind of not sure at what level the show is pitching. I think they got it spot on this time. One floor, you have your pre-owned one side, you have your micro brands and independents around the whole area, and it just works so well, works brilliantly.
I agree. Yeah, they utilize the space very well, because even in the main event space, previous year they did it upstairs, what got a little bit confusing. But they utilize the space as well outside of the main event hall for some of the smaller brands, which is cool, because just all the time you're taking in different brands, and there's just good traffic for these brands, which they certainly deserve as well. Yeah, it gets stronger every year, but I think they found the identity and their target and the kind of brands which belong at that event. And yeah, for us, we call it the unofficial Corona Passion 7 Christmas Party, because
Christmas party
is for the last time me and Pam see each other face to face normally at that time of year. So it's kind of a official.
And we get wasted.
We get wasted. Yeah, let's not let's not beat around
with everyone else, not just us,
with
just
everybody else.
Yeah, everyone else is getting wasted.
Yeah, but we blow off some steam, have a lot of fun, and it's definitely a time of year I look forward to closing the year with. What an event to finish the year with. It's just fantastic. Yeah.
Just a couple of quick mentions for the show, actually, for Rob. Top marks to Rob for getting Norcane to do a presentation on their watches, their direction, which way they're going, and how they've done what they do. Amazing presentation by Xavier at Norcane. Brilliant, really good, really engaging. And also Davide Ciorato from Bremont. There's been a lot of controversy around Bremont. Rob interviewed him so well, so respectfully, but asked the hard-hitting questions about branding, loyalty to the existing customer base. And Davide answered the questions very honestly, I think, very openly. And that was, those two were actually two of the biggest highlights of the show. And also, I'm going to give a quick shout out to a YouTuber who was just filming the whole show. And that was Tim Wright. Yeah, endless, as he does always. He filmed the whole event. So shout out to him and his crew.
Yeah. A lot of great people. And just those two interviews were, so much happened. It's hard to remember everything, but they were fantastic. Yeah, you can learn a lot from watching Rob and how he interviews. He's got a really cool laid back style, and hats off to him. He asked for tough questions, but in a very professional. You can see he's experienced, and it was good to watch a master in motion. Let's say,
that's
brilliant.
Why I call him Mr. Watch Pro.
That's why he is Mr. Watch Pro. Yeah, one day we'll be.
We'll reveal that story of how he got that name, but not today.
Yeah, not today. Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm going to say we've been Mr. Chrono and Mr. Passion maybe one day.
One day.
He wants to be Mr. Yeah, exactly. We'll have to fight for it. Cool.
We'll let everyone else just.
Yeah, you let us know in the comments below who's Mr. Passion, who's Mr. Chrono. Oh dear. Or who's Mr. 7. Yeah. Anyway, on that bombshell, I will sign off. So, hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you're enjoying these unplugged, kind of more casual style of recordings. Always, please give us your feedback on the website as well. Please, it'd be great. It's easier for us to just have it centralized in one location. Otherwise, it's, so-and-so said this, and you pass the message on to each other. But yeah, if it all goes to that one place, we both get to see it. So make sure to go to the website very quickly, www.chronopassion7.com. drop your comments there and enjoy the audio-visual experience. And that is hasta luego and adios from Barcelona, and I'll speak to you all on the next one.
And as Andy says, farewell from Barcelona in Spain. From London, it's Toodle Pip and laters, and we'll see you, and you'll hear us in the next one.